Hello everybody, welcome back to my Country Sparkles channel. Over at our home, we are in full planting mode, going through our seeds, starting to plant, ordering stuff that we were low on, and ordering things we weren't planning on ordering. Currently that's petunia seeds. I just went through all my flowers and I found a couple packets of petunia seeds, and we had a whole bunch of requests for them out of our greenhouse last year, so we're gonna try growing them. And we order a whole bunch more. So hopefully we are good at growing them because that's happening. Let me turn you around and show you what I've got going on here though. Okay, so amongst all my flower seeds, this is my flower bucket here. Obviously we like marigolds. We have a ton of marigold seeds and a whole bunch of other random flowers. And I got gifted some to try planting. I'm so excited about. But I found 3 packets of petunia seeds. And this is what they look like. Look how small those things are. They're so little. I've heard it's really hard to grow petunias, but we're gonna try, because whenever people say that's hard, we say, watch us do it, right? So there are our petunia seeds. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some water to these and let them sprout for a couple days, I think. This is an experiment. I've never grown petunias before, and hearing that they're hard to grow is really intimidating, but I think it'll be good. We have other seeds on the way, and the seeds that we actually bought from a supplier are pelleted, so that means they've been like rolled in like sawdust or something like that, which will make them easier to grab and to plant individually. These are so small, like you wouldn't even know if you got one in there. They just be in clusters for sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some water in here and sprout them for a few days, and then once they've sprouted just a little bit, I'm going to make a cornstarch gel concoction that I've been wanting to try with my carrot seeds, and I thought might work really well for these. So I'm going to make that concoction and put these seeds in there and then plant the seeds using that concoction. So we will see if this works, but here is our first step: getting these seeds and putting some water in them. Okay, and now here it is with water in the seeds, and I have a little lid here. Make like a little mini greenhouse. I'm gonna put it over in my actual greenhouse with my other seeds, and in a couple days I'll check on them and see how they're doing. I'll check back in once they start sprouting. Okay, so it's 8 days later. We are on Valentine's Day today, and my petunias starting to sprout in there. You see those strings? Those are little plants. And some of the other seeds have little white spots on them, so they're starting to open up. This one has a few less, but there's still a couple in there. Like, you know, maybe, I don't know, 1% have sprouted. But I'm gonna put them into my solution over here. Here's my cool gelatin solution, and we'll put them in pots and we'll see how they do. Okay, and this is what it looks like in the gel. So all the seeds in there, and they're gonna be evener spread out. We'll see how it does. I put water in there with the seeds, and also they were sitting in water. I just poured that straight into the mixture too, and just kind of mushed it together gently like that. And I even put a little bit more water in there to kind of swish around to get the last of the seeds out. So I made the sauce just thicker, and then added water. So the sauce is a cornstarch and water mixture. So I put about a cup of water and I'd say 2 or 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. I think I just kind of poured some in until it was super jelly, and it thickened up quite a bit, but I was able to mush it. So like this is the thickness of it after it's been cooled down. So it's kind of like porridge, or, you know, oatmeal or grits or something like that. So it's kind of like that, maybe a little bit thicker, you know, after it's cooled, so it's thickened. And then, but you want it all the way cooled after you mix that, because you don't want to cook your seeds or your sprouts. And then I put it into Ziploc bags, and then I'm going to cut off a corner here like this, and then I'll go squeeze it into my trays. So I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, here are my petunia seeds, and I'm just going to cut off the corner right here. We're gonna start with that size of the hole and see how it does. Okay, and now here are my seed trays. These are 200 cell seed trays, and I'm So petunias need light exposure. So they just will be sitting on top of the soil. Oh dear, I'm doing this with the wrong hand. Okay, here it is, and I'm just going to squeeze out in here. And the seeds need light exposure, so I might need a bigger hole. I think I'm gonna do a bigger hole. Okay, I didn't need a bigger hole, I just had chunks stuck at the end. So, start right here in the middle. So since these need light exposure, I'm just gonna have them sitting on top of the dirt, like that, and hope there's a couple seeds in each one of these. And so I'm not even gonna put dirt on top of this. My stuff's a little chunky. This is kind of hard to film and put the stuff in here, but I got my toddler changing lights too. But that's what I'm gonna do. That's how we're planting our petunias, at least this tray. Okay, so this is how it turned out. Obviously, I had a little bit of trouble at first, but I got better as I went. The first batch, I didn't squish it up quite enough, so there were quite a few chunks of the cornstarch water mixture. So I needed to mush that up a bit before I added in the seeds to be a bit better. So it kept splurting out too much. And then the next bag was much better, and I had some extras, so I ended up doing another tray of it. So we are just gonna leave these like this. I'm gonna spritz it with water, probably water from below, and then hopefully we'll have petunias. Okay, so here is what that tray looks like from my little experiment of the petunia seeds in gel. They are definitely clumped up. They did not spread out nearly as evenly as I was hoping, and I got about 50% of the cells germinated, but they're just all in other cells. This other one did not germinate so well. They got forgotten about and didn't get watered. So they're a little behind, and so this one's super sporadic, and this one is super clumped. But they're growing, so I think that's pretty good. But that's how my gel experiment went. And then just for comparison, we planted these two probably a couple weeks later, but they did not get forgotten about, and they were watered. But these were also impelleted seeds, and so we could put one in each little slot, and so it's definitely made a big difference. So that's what they look like. Thanks for joining me on this video. Hope you learned something. I know I sure did. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.